I woke up in my house this morning, a certain warmth to the bed and a coolness on the other side of the pillow. I could rouse myself and groggily seek the bathroom, coffee, while noises of family woke around me. There's something predictable, something that allows the eases that come with my house to sink to the background. Of course I can shower. Of course there will be coffee. Of course my child can watch a cartoon. Of course I can get dressed, hug my family. I don't often have to think about these things. I'm at home here. I'm lucky, and it's worth saying so. So I've been serving here for a little more than 2 years, and so I feel new to the community still. Many of the people that we serve will tell me stories that go back 10, 15, 20, even 30 years of being a part of this place.
We're meeting people where they are. We're meeting people that are marginalized, that have nothing, and we're giving them food, but we're giving them a lot more than food. We're giving them hopefully a sense that they are cared about, they are loved, they are important to us.
Homeless folks are not an anonymous they. They're a series of individuals. And I think the best thing about this work for me, has been my expanded sense of who my neighbors are. That I now know that my neighbors include a plethora of talents and individuals that I'm positive before I started doing this work, I walked past or acknowledged casually. And I'm so pleased to have more friends in my life. My name is John Mayer, and I'm the Executive Director of Sunnyside Community House, where we serve our houseless neighbors as best we can, as much as we can. Dignity is at the forefront of our minds when we're doing our work, and how we can affirm the dignity of our neighbors who live in kind of extreme ways sometimes on the street.
I guess the starting point would be to say that I came here as pastor in 1978. Stayed around 20 years. Didn't leave until I was elected to the state senate in '99. When I got here, there was already an urban Indian youth center up in the gymnasium. So they had a relationship with the Urban Indian Council of Portland. The very first loaves and fishes in the city was downstairs in the dining room where Pat now has her dinner.
I'm Pat Schweibert, and I have been a part of the Hard Time Supper for 38 years. We started it over at Lincoln Street United Methodist Church, which is about a mile and a half from here, and we outgrew that and asked if we could come over here. And Frank Shields, who was the then pastor of the Sunnyside United Methodist Church, said, "Of course you can."
Pat called me up. I'd known her and her husband for some time in '85 or '86 time frame, and just said, "Hey, I've started this little supper at our church, but we've outgrown our little dining room. Can we come to Sunnyside?" And I smiled even over the phone and said to her, "You come on over, I'll talk the trustees into it later." And that's how we got started here. It just was a ministry that needed to be doing, and she was the right person at the right time.
There's a continuity that's come with the Hard Time Supper that's enabled people to know each other. So sometimes people who are in housing will continue to come back every Wednesday night, and they know the traditions, and they help others be a part of that. A house is not always a home. Sometimes homes are places of danger or persecution or neglect. I've heard the stuff of nightmares from some of my friends about how they grew up living in houses full of darkness. Sometimes even the basics are not inside the walls of a house. The necessities of a home are not inherent under a roof.
My name is Marshall. I don't prefer to give my last name for personal reasons. Everything you deal with in life is not always what you can control. You're never fully in control of your living situation. Everybody has the right to exist. And existence means you have the right to feed yourself, you have the right to rest. The only thing that separates individuals in homes from individuals laying on the street is four walls. And those four walls are totally determined upon their ability to pay their rent, their mortgage, or their taxes. Your possessions that you attain in life and you cherish are immaterial because they don't make who you are.
I'm at home when it's Thanksgiving and my family is all around Grandma's table. I'm at home when my friends come have a beer in the sun. I'm at home wherever my dog is. I'm at home right here at Sunnyside.
As Pat and John expanded this program to include more meals during the week, it includes, they added, showers and places for self-care, hygiene, and writing classes, different kinds of groups, more additional overnight beds.
This house is not a home. A home is something larger than the walls. It's an idea more ethereal, more personal, more diverse. I think a home is a state of mind. When you ask folks, where is your home? You get a plethora of answers.
My name's Jeff Calicrate. I'm going to be 63 on the 13th of this month. The reason that I'm homeless is I have an older brother and a younger brother, and we had to sell the house so that everybody was paid, the mortgage for my mom and stuff.
If you think universally about it, people want to be able to maintain some dignity in their lives.
It's been 5 years this last January that I've been homeless. To be able to come in off the street and have a meal, not just one day a week, but for like 4 or 5 days is so helpful. If the center wasn't open, it would have been much harder.
We do not always wait for the needs to present or the people to walk through our doors. We walk around the neighborhood, we say hi to people, we invite them in. And sometimes we even walk folks hand in hand down to our hard time supper, a dinner that's been served here for 38 years of consecutive Wednesday nights.
This is the hardest work I've ever done in my life, but I think probably some of the best work I've ever done. We're meeting people where they are. We're meeting people that are marginalized, that have nothing, and we're giving them food, but we're giving them a lot more than food. We're giving them hopefully a sense that they are cared about, they are loved, they are important to us.
For 20 years, this place was my life day in and day out, and since then I have just admired it, whether close up or from a distance. Now I'm in a position where I can come back and volunteer as I can, and it means the world to me because of the substantive work that it has done to care for those that have been called the least of these. my brethren.
My name is Mike Perez, and I've been involved with Sunnyside for roughly about 20 years. Before, they used to have a dinner on Friday, line up, and then on Wednesday too, but they stopped that for about 4 or 5 years ago. When people are homeless, where they can feel normal even if it's for a couple hours or half the day, get a shower and a meal. I know what it means to be homeless, even though it was, quite a while ago. You never forget about being cold and wet, and it's just like it's ingrained in your memory.
We try to create a home inside of our four walls. We accept all of the grief and the loneliness and the unseen talents and addictions and stories, and we tell our friends, this is your home. You're safe here.
I never thought we were going to be leaving here. This is not something that I feel like I wanted to do this time of my life. I saw continuing to be here for the next 10 years and doing what I love to do. The work in Portland isn't done. I don't feel like the work is done for me. So we're looking for another place.
I think part of the solution is a sense of community, a sense of loving yourself, a sense of realizing that we all make poor decisions, and some of us pay much greater consequences for those decisions than others of us do.
We started working at Sunnyside after years of watching Pat do her work here, and I have to say I was reluctant for longer than I wish I would have been. The shifting piece for me really was after John joined Pat as well, and having more conversations and seeing that change, I think, on the corner, watching John pick up garbage every morning and interact with the community members, and more conversations with Pat, something just kind of softened in me.
There's a lot of uncertainty around what's to come because it's now just essentially the beginning of July, and by the middle of September, this Sunnyside Community House daytime shelter will not be running here.
Hi, my name is Remy. I'm 9 years old, and I think it's been a really fun job to work here, and I met a lot of fun and cool people. And before this, I didn't really think that homeless people could be that nice because I was living down the street and I saw lots of people yelling, and in the middle of the night people would be banging on our doors. So now I'm more thinking that houseless people don't always have to be bad, and none of them are really bad.
This community around here, Sunnyside, I love this place. It's just awesome. I don't know what I'm gonna do without. I don't know how we're gonna get rid of everything on September 15th. How are they gonna get rid of all this? And where's it gonna go? The food, what are they gonna do? They can't just close it down. But that's what they're saying. The community around here says, shut it down. They had a meeting in the office upstairs, and Pat came down crying, told me that after 20 years. And so what can you do?
It's not easy to find another neighborhood who wants us. But we're going to do that. We're going to find that other place so that we can continue to work with the people that we have become family to.
Generally, where people have a place to be and are welcomed and not pushed around. They value that. They take care of it. And life is better for everybody.
There's a saying that we don't know whether we're playing hospice to a dying planet or if we're being midwives to the birthing of a new way of being on the planet.
The more services that Pat and John have added, the stronger the sense of community I feel. And then the artifacts of that are like less incidents in the park, more human interactions between the school and folks in this community, you know, clean grounds.
It's unique in the sense that if government were trying to do this, if Multnomah County were trying to do this, how much would it cost the taxpayer? This costs nothing, and yet thousands, if not millions of dollars worth of services have been given away over the last 30-some years. It's essential. I mean, who would be doing this if people like these volunteers, every Wednesday night and other days of the week as well? You have anywhere from a half a dozen to 24 volunteers here.
Well, this has really changed me, like I said earlier, because I actually didn't really feel safe in this neighborhood, and I still don't feel really safe, but I've felt way more safer now because Pat and John have taught me that not everybody is bad and that nobody is bad. They just can't reveal their great side yet.
I tell you, the people that are volunteering here, they are dedicated, and it shows. And the dedication is, what they do is, I don't know, it kind of rubs off. You should get a sense or a feeling, and when you talk to them, and you appreciate what they do, and I appreciate everything. I'm so glad, thankful that you guys have been open as much as you have.
We don't know if that's replicable out in the community, but we're looking for space where we can continue to serve. We also know that we're going to continue our work regardless. So rather than stopping to accept donations, we know that people will always need a blanket, a pair of pants, a clean pair of underwear. We're not worried about how we store that on our way out the door. We're willing and able and thankful for all of the material help that we can put right onto somebody's body and give them a moment of feeling a little bit better. And that'll continue regardless of where we end up.
I'm gonna help them as best as I can, and Jose, and best we can, to get all this stuff out of here, up there. And I don't know what's gonna happen with this place then, because that's just, they just put 2 showers in, kind of a waste of money. Thank you, Jose, for your input.
I hope that we will be able to continue work with Pat and John. That's my hope. And wherever they end up moving, and hopefully finding a place to offer help to others, we will be there by their sides and join them in that work.
I've been thinking a lot about the past in our present. So I find myself thinking about all that we've done. Because this work almost always has us right in the moment. It has us dealing with a crisis or a set of circumstances that's right there. But to take a step back and realize that what we've done in the last couple of years has been built on nearly 4 decades of service is absolutely incredible. And then every day that I show up and I give somebody who's wearing socks a pair of shoes, and I give a dozen people a shower before we're even open, and I can offer a cup of coffee, it's profound.
What am I gonna do? I live down on Hawthorne, and I got a couple parks I take care of and a couple businesses I take care of that I hang out in front of the doorways so they don't get tagged and spray painted and stuff, and they like me there. I come up here because of Pat and Jose and to help out as best I can. And when when they leave, I don't know what I want to do. I'm gonna have to go find another peaceful place to be at.
If they're able to find another place, it won't be the same. This is special. This place right here is special. I just feel it. But I hope there is another place that it can be open.
We've gotten notice that on September 15th, we won't be able to serve in the way that we have from this basement. But the energy that's gone into everything that we do is too big for it to go to nothing. So all of that energy now is being put out into finding how can we continue to serve people at the very least a dinner? And if we can imagine a dream, how can we continue to build on the community that we've had, expand the number of offerings, the number of days, and the number of services that we can connect with? I know that what we're doing is not solving homelessness, but what we are doing is ensuring that people whose basic needs are not always met can be met a little bit more, and that their humanity can be affirmed for the moments that they're with us.